Hello and welcome to episode 25 of Flesh and Pod. My name is Jordan. I'm here with Logan. Abby is a slave to capitalism. We're gonna jump.
Wow, we fucking did it.
We are Abbyless tonight, a ship without a captain, because she is stuck working and also caught COVID from her husband. So she is busy.
Okay. Like, I didn't know we were just going to come out and flame just entire swaths of humanity in minute one, but and using your wife as the Wicker Man for it. But
for
great,
sure.
you do
you. Yeah, on fire. Here we go. So this show could get off the rails because Abby is like a stabilizing force for Logan and I. So we'll see. Well, let's do what we normally do. Logan, tell me what you got up to in Flesh and Blood this week.
I did a lot. I armoried on Thursday, played a little CC armory with Chane, went 3-1, felt fine. Deck is very good, very powerful. I can still only play at about 85% of human capacity. I drafted Monarch Armory on Saturday, which first time drafting Monarch wasn't easy. Tried to play Chane again, got bodied by Prism. All right.
Okay. All right.
And then yesterday I played in a Pro Quest and lost in the finals like a fucking idiot.
Who'd you lose to?
Dagon White. Friend of the podcast, Dagon White. He was my only two losses on the day.
Man.
And him having the play in the finals was very crucial, as I came out of the gates, had him at 2 life while I was at 19 still, I think, and found not a single fusion for the next 6 turns.
Oh my god.
At the point that any fusion or just drawing Pulse of Candlehold with an ice card in hand kills him.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was very painful. I tend to try to not slip into the saltiest of moods, but it was very reminiscent of my PTQ experiences from Magic when I used to just be PTQ end boss and never close any of them. It just like very much so brought back a flood of not great memories. However, I can't be mad. My opponents were good all day. Every match was pretty much a banger. I played against Prism, and she was very, very good. It was the same person that I'd played against in the Tales of Aria sealed in New Jersey, like the week before.
Oh.
And I was like, oh wow. Shit. You were that part of that 7-minute Levia mirror or Lexi mirror that we had. And she's like, yeah, you did like 22 damage in a turn. I'm like, I sure did. And then I played against a Chane opponent where I revealed Rampart, kind of looked skeptically, and I'm like, look, I am playing the less skill intensive card here because I'm an idiot.
That's my favorite story.
He was like, okay, like that makes sense. And then I look at a hand on like turn 2 or turn 3 where I'm like, I'm going to take whatever damage he gives me. And it's probably going to be a lot, and I'm not going to care. And then I'm going to break these the crushers, the hands, Crater Fist. And then I'm going to just Crippling Crush Dominated for 15 and get this husk.
You know how long it took me to figure out what you had to do to get to 15 when you originally told me the story? It took me longer than I was like, oh, that card doesn't have text and blocks for 2.
It does, yeah. So it blocked for 2 and then put a Crippling Crush to 15. Got a hold of his husk, his skull cap, his grasp, and a card. And put them way behind on that turn, and then the husk is gone. Very early. Was very important as they did a very good job of fighting through a Channel Lake Frigid to get me low again. But they were not going to be able to catch up fast enough when their blood deck got up to them, and that was the difference. I just was able to stay back and block and not fatigue them, but let them die to blood deck. And then in the semifinals, playing against Viserai, it is a banger Viserai deck. Like, this person's been playing Viserai since Arcane Rising came out.
Oh, so OG Viserai.
Yeah, and was incredibly skillful, and it was fun because the top 4 were 2 cars. It was the Prism player that I played against, and her, I want to say, fiance. And then Dagon was in my car with me on the other side of the bracket.
So everybody else could leave.
Yeah, everybody else can leave. And Josh Freeland, one of the other Iowa players, has to stay there and watch. But at least he made top 8 as well for his pity sleeves.
Oh, nice.
Which is the same prize that I got for finishing second. But we'll talk about how the prizing of the PTQs or the Pro Quests exists for this round at some other point in time.
Yeah, that's definitely. You're not alone there either.
Got some Elo. Got some experience.
That's right.
Yeah.
Elo for PTQs now.
Yeah. Got some Elo, got some experience. I'm running it back on Sunday. Or not Sunday, Saturday. Running it back on Saturday. I play in a golf tournament on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that was what I did this weekend. How about you? Did you just stay at home and
Yeah, I didn't, so if you don't know, I also have the COVID. For anybody that isn't in our Discord. I found out shortly after we got back from Jersey. I kind of felt like garbage, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's that. So I've stayed at home. I actually found out while testing Flesh and Blood. Funny enough, I was playing with a guy named Jacob from our local play group. Awesome guy, and I was coughing a lot, and he goes, "You might have COVID." And I went, "I don't have COVID." Like we're playing on TTS, so I wasn't killing the man. I wasn't killing the man. Yeah. We were playing on TTS, and I'm coughing, and he goes, "You might have COVID." And I was like, "I don't have COVID. I'm only coughing," which is like the symptom A.
Yeah, it's symptom 1.
Yeah, right. Sure enough, coughing got worse. Took a test. Was like, "Son of a bitch, I have COVID." But no. Otherwise, didn't play any Flesh and Blood. Didn't think about Flesh and Blood really. I had a lot of fun playing Rhinar in those couple of games I played with Jacob. That was cool. Kind of just wanted to meme a little bit. We wanted to just play goofy decks, and
I mean, Rhinar won the Saturday Pro Quest in Kansas City.
I heard that. I heard actually it did some okay things. I mean, I had a day 2 in there. PT.
Yeah, got some brood in there.
Yeah, I like that play style. I wish it were a little bit better, a little bit more efficient. I enjoy that play style a lot, though. Intimidate is a fun thing.
Also, Bravo Showstopper won a Pro Quest this weekend.
Yep. Who needs this new hat?
Who needs this hat? Who needs this shield? Who needs this? Who needs these other cards?
Crayons?
Who needs Oakenold? Yeah, who needs crayons and construction paper? Like nobody.
Leave it at home. Yeah, give your pulverized dominate and like just attack them.
We dominate like we just do dominate the old fashioned way. We pay for it. Wait, wow, that sounded wrong. Oh, no. Yep.
Let's move that back. All right, next thing's up.
Rewind.
All right, news and notes this week. This is where Abby would jump in and cut us off, so I'm going to try to do that. SCG Con Syracuse in July is featuring a Battle Hardened. Not a whole lot to note here other than it's not a calling, and we're just now finding out what's going on in July. So our woes continue.
And if I remember correctly, this event has the magic side of Twitter astir, if I remember correctly.
It does. From what I understand, they dropped one of the requirements for entry, because so SCG Con used to be you had to show a vax and or negative test and wear a mask in the hall. They've dropped one of those.
I thought they dropped them both.
Did they drop both of them?
Which is just going to be not a good idea as much as
as I can attest. No. So based on the website that I'm looking at right now, it does look like masks are still required.
Okay.
But there are not Vax cards required, which is not different than the Pro Tour. For people that weren't at the PT, you did not have to have a Vax card or a test. You just had to wear a mask inside.
Yep.
But this is a deviation from what Star City was doing in the past. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. And so people had an expectation that this would be the same. And it is not.
Right. Yep. I am upset that as of we don't know what August SCG Con is. We don't know what September's in Columbus's is yet. We know where they are.
We know where they are. Okay.
Yeah, August is in Baltimore, and then September is in Columbus, but we don't know what Fab events they are. Yeah, Baltimore's a fun tournament to go to a tournament in. Fun town to go to a tournament in.
Interesting city.
It sure is. It really is. We need to do an extra episode on like places we've traveled for games.
We can do a travel episode.
That'd be really fun. Like tell some stories about different spots and like
yeah, because there's been some spots like
There's been like I want to tell stories about Airbnbs and like shady hotels and like all that, you know.
Or just Detroit.
Oh yeah,
Just whole town Detroit.
yeah. I passed out because of Detroit Air once. Like it was great.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just what a town.
I passed out on the monorail in Vegas once.
At least it's a pretty view while you're passed out.
You can't see shit if you're done. Yeah.
But
and
it
it was only probably like 70% due to alcohol. So well.
That's a good rate. That's below rate. I'd have jammed the over.
I felt like if I had enough sleep in me, I wouldn't have passed out, but I did not. We took a red eye to Vegas, and oof.
Oh, that's dangerous.
We'll get to that story. We'll do that.
Yeah,
we'll do that.
We'll have to do that segment.
Yeah, we'll tap after dark sometime in college.
See, one of these days.
One of these days, it's coming. It's like dragons. It's like dragons in
it's what
Game of Thrones. It's like dragons in Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
They're coming.
Seems like a personal thing.
No, Jesus!
All right,
first it's like, we pay people to step on us, and then, oh God, you're the worst. Abby, come back!
She can't hear your screams. Road to Nationals is July 2nd to the 24th. This was leaked via some in-store posters over the PTQ weekend. ProQuest weekend.
Yeah, a lot of stores received the Armory kit for the Rhinar v Dori.
Yeah,
and that had those posters in it.
So we are back to back, and baby,
we are
PQ season into Road to Nationals.
And
how do you feel about that?
A fresh, shiny fucking Road to Nationals meta.
Yeah, because that does come out a week after Uprising.
Yeah, we could be looking at something very interesting, kind of a brewer's paradise,
for sure.
Which I'm very interested in. I like that concept. I like. It seems like we've been kind of stale. Like we only had one real brew to work with, and that was Starvo, and then any other brew was How to Beat Starvo. So it was kind of like a heavenly body that was being orbited by satellites, and we'll be losing that, and potentially Chane. We'll talk about that in a second, but we could have a very, very fresh face meta with 2 new heroes and some new cards and new support for existing heroes. 3 new heroes, really, because Icelander has not been an adult hero yet. So we'll get 3 new bodies in there to try to beat us up, and we'll have to just see. I think it'll be a fun brewer's paradise to see what kind of crazy shit people come up with, especially week 1. I think that week 1 of Road to Nationals is going to be pretty interesting, and it's very interesting too that it's right on 4th of July weekend here in the States, which is Independence Day. My apologies to our British Empire friends, but so there may not be a ton of US side ProQuests that there are Road to Nationals that weekend. We'll have to see, but it could be very, very interesting for that first week to see what we get. It could be enlightening to where this game doesn't have a true hive mind because there's no online client. So we get to experience the craziest shit for a couple weeks.
That was what I was going to mention that I'm really excited about, is that like if you like the idea of tackling your local meta, this Road to National season is for you.
Yeah.
I really like that idea of Road to Nationals being this local. You have to beat your local gym before you can go battle the big gym.
You have to get the badge.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of 4th of July weekend with respect to Fab, do you know why they spell canceled with 2 L's in the UK?
Because there's a War of 1812 joke in here, right?
I was gonna say it's because we handed them that L in 1776.
There you go.
Okay. We have a friend that he's an immigrant from the UK, and he has met his wife through trading cards, and then he moved here for that and for her, and so we just like randomly mail him like $5 copies of the Constitution in the mail. And like I'm like not a patriot, right? It's such a meme at this point where like I'll see a red, white, and blue like shirt at Target, and I'll buy it and send it to Dan, and Jesus. Like it's just nonsense.
You do realize
what's that?
You do realize that red, white, and blue are like the colors.
No, it'll have like an eagle, like a flag. It'll be like an American like shirt.
Okay,
it'll be like a US.
We're gonna make okay, but
yeah, fair enough,
Jesus, man.
No, it's absurd. Like what our buddy calls me every 4th of July, just reads him the preamble to the Declaration of Independence. Like every year, it's
What
just
the
what he
fuck?
it's just what he does. Like none of us are patriots really. Like
Oh my
we're all
God.
happy enough where we come from, but we're not like that, you know. And it's just at this point, it's just a meme. Uh,
Like
and
literally,
and he's not like a patriot either from the other side. Like it's just nonsense, and we know it's nonsense, and like I love it. Anyway, Abby would be so mad at us. Um,
she is currently sitting somewhere very angry. She's just like feeling it.
yeah, she
in
probably
her
has like a
bones
cup
right
to the
now.
door, you know, and is like listening in, and is like, God damn it! Like,
These motherfuckers.
speaking of those motherfuckers, Rhinar v Dori comes out this week. We had a bit of a difference in opinion on this product.
Well,
There's some spoilers have came out throughout the week, and we're not going to like talk about them here too much because like they're not that good of quality spoilers. We don't even know if they're real in some respects. You know,
I think we're pretty sure they're real.
I agree that I think they're real, but whoever does spoilers takes them on the shakiest Polaroid camera of all time ever. Like,
Yeah,
if you're gonna like leak data, do it on your phone. Like,
you do understand how great camera phones are these days, right? Like they are top notch.
You don't need to go buy the little like redisposable things from the Kodak store. You don't need that.
We don't need to do a 1.2 megapixel camera from 2004 that requires a what were the giant memory cards?
Oh yeah, like the floppy disk type things.
No, not that big.
Slightly
smaller. But
for portable cameras. Yeah.
The before SD cards became the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, giant brick of a fucking memory card. It can hold 17 pictures. We don't need to do that anymore. We have devices in our pocket that are more powerful than all the computers on the Apollo missions.
Right.
So why are we fucking around with these like shaky cams? But regardless, this product comes out.
Comes out Friday.
Jordan,
I am excited. So we're giving away one for the show, and then Abby and I are purchasing two. Or we've given one away for the show. Like that giveaway is over. Yeah. And then Abby's and I are purchasing two. One is going to be like singles for like the cube, and then the other one is going to be like a set to keep together for like teaching people how to play.
Sure. I think that's good.
Yeah. We currently do that with the Blitz decks, but the Blitz decks aren't a great learn to play product. Where I think that this product is theoretically designed for that. A little bit more of a get your friends that are already in TCGs into like this TCG. So I'm excited to like have that together. I don't know, like the thing we disagree on, and I guess I'll lead into it a little bit, is that some people are upset that there aren't playables, like there aren't good Rhinar staples in this product. There aren't things that make their because Dori does have some. Dori has some very good cards in hers, and I think that players are not thinking of the product correctly if they're upset that like their hero isn't getting a bump from this product, only because the product is geared towards newer players, and I don't think it should be geared towards like improving your CC deck. Now, the mistake that they made in this is making the Dori cards good or like CC playable.
Well, the biggest problem here is you have a new Dori, a new weapon, and a new specialization.
Right. And a couple of good rares from what it looks like.
Just start there.
Okay.
Rhinar, we have same Rhinar, no differences. We have great value Romping Club. Like, just Romping Club with extra steps. Like, worst fucking Romping Club.
It's terrible.
And then we have Alpha Rampage, the same specialization. Like,
sure.
Just take that.
Yeah.
And I think it's more the people who are upset are the Brute players, because there is a prevailing sense amongst the Brute faithful, of which we have many in our Discord.
We are a Brute Discord.
We are a Brute Discord. The Brute is strong in our Discord.
Actually, I'm gonna get some flame for my take there a second.
You sure are.
I think.
I'm here for the people, and you're just shitting on them.
It's gonna mute my Discord for tomorrow.
You probably need to. But there's this prevailing sentiment that at best, LSS is afraid of Brute. Because Brute is probably one fuck up away from being Starvo.
Sure.
or they see Brute as the villainy of Welcome to Wraith and just want to shit on him because they love their heroes. It's one of these two things. But this is that same point, right? There are cards in this set. Like, I am a Kasai stan in Blitz. I love playing Kasai in Blitz. I have a Blood on Her Hands playmat, which by and by the best art in Flesh and Blood. She's got blood in her fucking hands and is looking at her face reflected in fucking blood. Anyway, so there's cards that just directly slot in as the same card right next to cards that make your deck hum. That deck just goes bonkers in consistency all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Same kind of like, it kind of takes Dori from being potentially playable, and maybe even Bolton from potentially playable to, okay, we have brewing to do because of the cards in this classic battles box.
Yeah.
And then the things that are hurting people is specifically like with the Majestic, which is a lot of people think is very playable. I'm on the fence for Warrior.
Is that the one that gives it go again and
it does some fucking thing?
Yes, okay. Yeah, there's a go again. There's a weapon go again card.
There's two weapon go again cards. There's
Cube
the
cards,
rare.
maybe?
Yeah, there's the rare that is literally Blade Runner. Like, no notes. It's Blade Runner. I get to play 8 Blade Runners in Blitz. Fantastic. But there are people going, there's one of these in every $50 box.
Yep.
To play them in CC, you need 3. If you want to play all 3, you need to buy 3 boxes. That makes this card effectively, if all things are equal, a $50 card.
Yeah, because if there's not other playables in it, it won't drive the price down, right?
Is that okay?
No.
Right.
Oh, for sure not.
So
don't hear this as like an endorsement of this product from that angle. I definitely think that this should not be a CC legal product.
The mistake in this is, well, we can argue that mistake right? Too. Yeah, like the problem is that they don't have cards that were printed to be distributed in mass that are not legal in the game. They have heroes, but not cards. So that's where this becomes a little tricky, because that is then confusing to new players, to me.
For sure. I completely agree with you.
But the issue here is that they did what they shouldn't do, and they put something that could actually be a chase card in this box, and as a one of.
Agreed, for sure. I think this feels like what did Magic used to do? They used to put like the box topper was like a special promo that wasn't in the set.
Yeah.
And it was like good, and you'd had to buy a box to get the promo.
It's called Nexus of Fate. You can just
it's exactly
spell it out.
That's the card I was thinking of. I couldn't remember. Yeah. So this feels like that kind of mistake.
Only came in foil.
Yep.
Absolutely curled the minute that it hit sunlight.
It's so bad.
And was probably the best card in Standard, even though it was never officially in a set. Yeah. So this doesn't have quite that feel, although I could be wrong. But that's where we are. Is we have cards in this set, and people are already offering to buy, the Majestic off me from the the sets I'm buying. Like, hey, can I just pay you $30 for the Majestic? And I'm like, I mean, sure. But they could have just as easily made that, what is Dorinthia's Majestic? It's now escaping me. It's very good. Steelblade Supremacy.
Oh, sure.
They could have just made it Steelblade Supremacy. Totally
That's
fine.
fair. Yeah.
And instead, they did this. And I think that that's problematic. And Brute got shit on. So either don't shit on Brute, or and if you don't shit on Brute, you print something that's Brute playable, that's new, you do drive the price down again, because now you have 2 cards that share that $50 price tag.
Sure.
That's not as bad. And and we haven't seen the full lists. There could be some brute support in there. I'm skeptical that there's brute support in there. The cold foil heroes look pretty fucking nice.
Yep.
All fair is fair there, but I mean, what are we doing?
I definitely agree that like, and I think this is like an established thing in TCGs. So I think this part is weird for LSS to do. Like, you just know that you don't print exclusive shit that is playable in your main format.
You've had there's been instruction on this.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Like, this is not uncharted territory, right?
Right.
Between the option you've presented, I would rather they just not do good things for Dori in this type of set, if that makes sense. And I don't mean that from like these heroes don't deserve good cards, because like Brute does deserve some love in an upcoming set, right? Like Dori deserves a little bit of a push in an upcoming set, right?
So can we talk about Brute loving for a second? Or are we
talk about Brute what?
Brute loving? Are we gonna?
We're never past Brute love.
We're never past Brute love.
Yeah,
like there's a. I mean, like, have you looked at Levia? I mean, come on,
2022, babe. We're never past it. Like,
I mean, if we could pay Levia for Dominate, we'd probably pay Levia for Dominate. That's okay. We need Abby back.
Yeah, do your point, and then let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's. I think I made my point. I think that
great.
we know that from what we know right now, and we're ready to be wrong when we see this product on Friday. But from what we know right now, we have an issue or have a potential issue staring at us. And Brute yet again just got fucked.
All right. Chane is up to 808 Living Legend points after ProQuest Week 1, excuse me. That does not include the week that just happened. So we're recording this on May 23rd. It'll release May 24th. So the most recent weekend is not encapsulated by this. But
we're just waiting for whatever annauncement's going to come out at 7:45 p.m.
Right, yeah, we're going to click stop, so and then they're going to do it. So you'll know before we do. Yep. But this is, we might be living in a 2 Living Legend world soon.
I'm here for it, man. I want that Living Legend format. I want it in my fucking veins. I want full powered shit. I think the only card that should be banned in Living Legend is Drone of Brutality, because fuck that card.
We have good things to talk about with Drone of Brutality later too. Oof. You've done a good job you've plugged 2 future listener questions right in your little answer there.
I know, I just plug away, don't I? Yep, we did it again. So I can't even anymore. I'm fucking done with myself.
Yeah, no,
good night, folks.
All right, see you later. Have a good week. This is Fleshbot. I am excited for the Living Legends format. Even if it's just Chane and Starvo mirrors, like
Briar will fucking step on Chane. That's the funny part.
Yeah, I'm excited. So you know what's funny, because in the James White panel at the Pro Tour, which you should go listen to that on 983 Media's YouTube. He mentioned that Starvo was originally tested with Briar at full strength, with and I believe with Chane at full strength.
No,
maybe not.
They tested
definitely Briar at full strength.
They did. They tested with Briar at full strength,
and so that made Bravo a tier 2 deck. So I'm excited to live in this world of Seeds of Agony, of Briar with, I guess we'll still have an errated Briar.
Briar will still be errated. Which is something that I talked about. A buddy of mine who jumped in the game at the same time I did, like literal same day. I was kind of the impetus of me getting into this game, but he doesn't really play actively because he did not like the Briar format of CC. He did not like the Starvo format of CC, so he kind of just faded away, and he didn't like Tales of Aria Limited. And I'm like, okay, discussion point then. Tales of Aria Limited is now good. And he's like, why was it different? I'm like, because the Briar errata matters. One embodiment and making it so Dominated Arrows of Alexi are not a 1-card block is big fucking game.
Yeah,
like,
it takes matters. It takes Lexi to like decently playable in that format now.
There are now 3 playable heroes.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what matters.
Right.
And I think in the Living Legend format with the errated Briar is no longer is sort of fair when with full power Starvo, full power Chane.
Yeah.
Full power Starvo and full power Chane are unfair decks, and I love it. But Plunder Run Ball Lightning Briar is just pure racing. It's checking them, making them play defense reacts, making it so that the game is still has a interactive element. It's not just goldfishing in a vacuum. And when this time comes, when we have Prism, who's always checked the formats, and Prism was the Chane answer, Prism was the Starvo answer. There was no Briar answer.
No.
Actually, Frost Lexi was the Starvo answer, was the Briar answer.
That's true. Actually, yeah, it's true.
Once
Frostbite's
we
cool over that deck.
Oh yeah, it fuck them up real good. So I feel like we're probably going to get a lot of these 2-hero retirements, and I think that they probably will start the Living Legend format at 6 heroes.
That would make sense to me. That's fair.
And so I think those heroes will be Chane, Briar, Starvo, Prism. I don't know how to get Viserai there, but I kind of want it to be Viserai. But I think it's going to be the Draconic Ninja out of Uprising. And then a hero we haven't seen yet.
Oh, as the 6th one.
As the 6th one.
Oh, you think they fuck up again?
I think that they print something too strong into a format that is fair.
Okay. Well, like kind of like what we had. We had a fair format, and then they printed Starvo, and we were like,
not fair anymore.
Yikes. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I think that happens, and I'm beginning to believe in the Living Legend system as a check.
Me too. Now that they've done it,
and we've seen how it's going to work, I do feel like that this is a very good check on the format. So even if there is a mistake, it's not a long national nightmare like I could typically call it right now. It's a few months of pain. And
they tear up a season, and then
everybody commits to the bit of let's get this fucker out of here, and they just keep playing the deck until it disappears, and we're in a good spot. So I feel like that's where we're at, and I think that we have our Living Legend format by the end of 2023.
That would be great. I think that'd be a great time too.
Right, it'd be just like right when we're getting some newer players in, and we have us boomers.
Right.
And so we have a boomer format for the boomers, and we have what would effectively be the Flesh and Blood millennials are just coming in and cleaning up in the new versions of what would be like the CC standard format.
Wow.
Getting ready for the Zoomer Uprising. So
kind of crazy to think about Flesh and Blood, that term, like in that, in that realm, but it's definitely earned this game. Talk to me last year, and I would have said, I don't want to talk to you about 2023. I don't.
I'm 100% talking about 2023.
No, I'm saying me personally. If you would ask
I'm
me,
with you. Yeah, the skepticism was real.
Right. I don't, when we started this podcast, I think it was in a similar mode of like, if this game lasts a year, that'd be fun, But they've knocked a lot of things out of the park, and like doing this, and they have things that we gripe about. Like, don't get me. I'm not a stan.
Nothing's perfect.
Like, right. But they banned that guy for 2 years, so I'm on the hook for life, baby.
Yeah, you're on the train now. They'll never lose.
I can't get off. You chew, motherfucker.
All right.
Speaking of back on the train, Chane. Lord. Speaking of back on the train, Reddit thread of the week is back. I need to get a sound bit for the Reddit thread of the week.
Is it just me screaming "fuck"?
Yeah. What's a Reddit, Dad?
Fuck you! Oh my god.
Here's our question posted by Paper Collective.
Piece of shit.
Other than Flesh and Blood, it's a 2-beer show, ladies and gentlemen. Other than Flesh and Blood, what other games, digital or physical, do you play?
Interesting.
Yeah, this is a nice little break.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sure.
It's gonna take a minute.
So right now, I don't think am I actively playing anything right now? I'm not. I enjoy longer board games for like larger groups of people. So like Twilight Imperium is like a 10-hour marathon. I like that. I like Battlestar Galactica, the FFG board game. It's a social deception plus like a bit of strategy. That's not quite as long. It's like maybe 3 or 4 hours. I enjoy that. We play a monthly game of that. I like D&D when I get to play it. So I guess similar RPG slash strategy type of games. I've played World of Warcraft competitively, and by that I mean they're just like mythic rated, not like super high end, but mythic rated. In that I played StarCraft pretty competitively in college. So I guess I like strategy games. I like games that have a lot of depth to them, which tracks with a flesh and blood thing.
Yeah.
What about you?
I still occasionally play Magic.
Yeah,
A little Commander here and there. An understanding in our Commander groups that the rule 0 is if you don't like it, leave.
it's a great rule 0.
Which is it's our rule 0. Like,
Yeah, is there a better rule 0 than the one you make? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's your rule 0.
So there's a lot of high powered shit happening. We're all boomers, so it's everybody's really cool about it. Mod beer drinking. And then I play like pre-releases and limited every now and again because
Sure.
I like limited. I like drafting. I like sealed. I like limited. I think that it's the most interesting form of any card game. I progression rated World of Warcraft through Wrath of the Lich King.
Oh, sure. Classic Wrath is coming out, by the way.
Yeah, that's hard for me.
Yeah,
that's my favorite time of playing a video game ever.
Oh, sure.
And it's going to be difficult for me to stay away, but I think it has been usurped by the utter absurdity of min-maxing that I can just stay away.
Sure. Okay. The classic is not the way you and I remember it. Yeah, no, not at all. The mythic raiders from today, like me, have ruined classic.
Yes, absolutely. I do love D&D, like absolutely love D&D, but I haven't played a regular D&D game in 15 years. I like playing a lot of the different games. Social deduction games I'm largely banned from because I just don't lose.
Okay.
There was an Among Us lobby that we were doing, and it was people I knew, but not well. Like one person I knew that was a good friend, but hadn't played any of these games with me before. We're in Among Us lobby with a bunch of their friends, and I'm rolling. I'm not losing. And they invite, and they're like, "Oh, somebody had to drop. Can we get somebody in here?" I'm like, "Oh, my buddy Mike, who I've known forever. Like he's not doing anything. He can come in the lobby." And he comes in. First thing he says in voice, "So we're just going to vote Logan out, right?"
That's really funny.
And they're like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, we need to get him gone. I don't care if he's the imposter or not. He needs to leave." And I was imposter. And so everybody else is like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Well, he's right. You probably should just vote me out." And they're like, "That's just dumb." And so the next thing that happens is I murder him. I murder my friend that fingered me because
you
fuck
can't have him talking about
and
it.
Then I called the meeting.
Okay.
And I fingered the other imposter.
Oh wow.
And got them gone. And then got it down to a room with just 3 votes, and pointed at the other guy, got the vote, and won. And then finally, when the chat kicks back up, my buddy's like, "This is why you just have to kill him. It's better for everybody. He just can't live.
Just gotta get you dead, huh?
Just gotta get me dead." Same thing in Coup, same thing in Werewolf, same thing in Secret Hitler. Don't let me be alive.
What is your favorite variant of social deception games?
Oof.
Gun to your head.
Gun to my head is probably Secret Hitler.
Me too.
To play it.
Yeah.
I love narrating Mafia or Werewolf.
Okay.
And that's usually the role I end up in because of the bands.
Sure.
But I think the one to play is definitely Secret Hitler.
Gotcha. Awesome.
That might sound very bad to anybody that listens to this podcast that doesn't know what Secret Hitler is.
Sure.
But just Google it. It is a game. It is a social deduction game by the same awful humans that made Cards Against Humanity. So just understand that it is actually a social deduction game. It's very well built with a very unfortunate name.
Yeah, we're not like memeing or like trying to make jokes like that are inappropriate. No,
absolutely
it's like a very established game. It's very good.
It's very good.
You're trying to figure out, like who the fascists and who the socialists are, and like you have different powers, you have different roles, and
then somebody has the Hitler role, and you can never let them become chancellor because if you do, you lose.
Right. Yeah, combining the Führer and the Chant, just all bad.
Yeah, can't do it.
Yeah.
Read
a book.
Read a
It's not allowed.
touch some grass. The and then like there's been a variety of different board games that I've really enjoyed over time too. I do like the B-Star game. I think Battlestar Galactica is
Oh yeah,
good.
it's
great. Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Oh, that's a favorite of ours.
Incredible.
It's a favorite of ours. Yeah.
That is very fun. The Legacy version is also very fun.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I find Pandemic less fun than I used to, but that's for reasons, I guess. Because playing the home game wasn't very fun. So yeah, there's quite a few board games and stuff that I very much so enjoy, but I would love to get back into D&D. Is probably the one thing that I miss the most.
Same here. You remember those old point and click adventure games on computer?
I do. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
So they make a board game version of those now.
Really?
There's one called Cantaloon, and Abby just found it at a game store randomly. Shout out to Dragon's Lair in Columbus, I guess. And it is, you get a book. I'll have to show it to you sometime. You get a book, and like each page is a different scene, like you would click to on the game. Like you go to the different place on the map, right? And you get like a decoder, and you acquire different items that are in your inventory. And you're like, hey, I have this magnifying glass, and on the page in the scene, there's like a trash can, and you can like put the magnifying glass up to the trash can, and it'll like give you a code. And in this book, there's like a code that corresponds with the code that you get for matching these two items together, and it'll be like, incredible. Here's the hint, and then you write your hint down, and then like you have that hint now, and maybe that hint's a new item, maybe that hint's a disposable camera that the bad guy threw away, and then now you have this disposable camera that you can go place next to a different thing, and that'll give you a different hint, and it's really cool.
Oh wow.
And like yeah, and some things like, so like if you have a fork and like I don't know, an electrical outlet. Okay, it'll be
it sounds like MetaZoo, sure.
Yeah, and you try to put them together, it'll be like, hey, you can't use these two items together. What are you doing? Like, not everything works together. It'll just be like, it'll just be like, hey, you can't, like, these two items aren't compatible. Or like, if you have a microscope and you're trying to inspect something 10 yards away, it'll be like, what the fuck are you doing? You know. So it's a very cool Cantaloon is what it's called. We've only played it says it's 6 hours. We've played about an hour. We're probably behind the pace because we like took our time like learning like the system, but like it's very fun. So if you like that, it's a very good couples game. It's also a very good solo game. So Cantaloon's and they have expansions.
Cantaloon.
Or they have different stories rather, not expansions. But yeah, I'll have to show you some pictures of it in action next time we play it.
Yeah, sounds great. All
right, let's get on to some listener questions. Rapid fire through some of these. Fighting Walloon via Discord. Walloon. Sorry for your ears. The official start of game procedures say that you determine who is going first before you choose your equipment and weapon and before you sideboard your deck. How often does going first or second change your choices during setup? What kinds of things do you do differently if going second versus first? In the meta we just got away from, this was probably not super important. The first card that came to mind was maybe Awakening from the Starvo decks. If you were going first, sometimes you would side that out because having that in your first war is not great.
I have a little bit of push and pull with this because I will, against certain matchups, if I'm playing Starvo, I will have Rampart on the play and Stalagmite on the draw.
Sure. Because
Rampart on the play, I'm going to be able to crown Rampart.
Yep.
On my opponent's first turn.
First turn, right. You'll have an arsenal card.
Otherwise, I need like the full 11 block, effectively what it is, out of Stalagmite. But I'm going to be able to probably extract a little bit more than that out of Rampart over the full course of a game.
Yeah.
Which is why in some matchups, not all, but definitely some, I will go ahead and just play Rampart if I'm on the play. But that's really about the only time that I've made any variations like that in my equipment. Most of the time it's the loadout is pretty cut and dry per matchup. Like things like Null Rune, I'm not going to just shave on my Null Rune all of a sudden. Like, no, if you need Null Rune, you need Null Rune. Right. Like, if it's a thing, it's a thing.
Flesh and Blood does it. And to be fair, a lot of card games don't. Even Magic, when you had a super narrow or super min-max sideboard, those decisions were rare. Right, or maybe not.
OTP OTD was definitely not the most
impactful,
vital
decision.
Right.
Yeah, you could get very nuanced if you wanted. Honestly, I think a lot of the time people were pushing and pulling percentage points, not really necessarily doing anything too
Yeah,
substantial.
in Magic, you had a lot of min maxing and a lot of smartest boy in the room stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so people would do it just to appear like they had a real reason to appear smarter in doing it, and that was the only reason really. And they would try to make some very very spacious argument about how this impacts the game, and it's like, okay, we'll play it both ways, and then you play it both ways. It's like, hey, the outcome was the same both times. So
yeah, right. Like your
what's
reliance
your
on the
real
cards didn't
percentage?
matter.
Like,
Yeah, like maybe you would take out like a slow creature on the draw that couldn't block in time, but like
sure,
even then, like yeah, like you said, it's very just like I'm trying to be big brain about this. Um, I think that Flesh and Blood is one of those games that honestly I don't know if most people know that you determine who goes first.
oh
I think a
sure.
lot of the time people sit down and they do all their sideboard and then they roll, which speaks to how unimpactful as like a community
Mhm.
we experience we feel like it is.
Yeah,
Maybe that gets true. Like I could see decks like Kano caring about it, but
maybe.
even then, like you have to draw the right. You only draw an opening hand of 4, so like you have to draw the cards that matter in the right. Again, it's just very narrow.
Like Katsu can maybe do that with whether they play Tunic or they play Heart and Cross Straps.
Sure, sure,
Because you think you may get one more turn out of Tunic that for the third resource, and then it's just better than Cross Straps,
yeah,
but on the draw, you don't think you'll ever get to there, so Cross Straps is just more impactful.
sure.
I can see like it, but it's narrow, right? It's super super narrow. But it does happen. It's not
Yeah,
like it doesn't.
this is one of those conversations where Dagon's going to tell us we're wrong tomorrow.
I
Uh,
maybe he's told me I'm wrong for playing Rampart a bunch too, so whatever. I'm
Fair
done
enough.
losing to Katsu. Fuck it, I'm playing Rampart.
Fair enough. Heldenhammer Nick via Discord has asked us, I've had the itch to build another cube. Yay, good for you. Can Jordan talk a little bit more about his cube on the show? Yes. What is in it? What has been omitted? What would he change? Logan had the opportunity to draft my cube
Did
in New Jersey, along with a bunch of the Iowa fellas. Um,
you know
my
what happened?
cube.
You know what happened?
Hmm,
Same thing happens to me in limited every time. I
Dagon,
got shunted. I got fucking shunted.
Did you play Dagon?
No, I played
You played the other Dori.
Josh Freeland. Yeah, and
That's right, you played Josh.
yeah,
Okay.
and I had him at 1 in Kandachi lock.
You had him at
Like
2, right?
no, I had him at 1.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, I remember.
He was in Kadachi lock, and I went to 1 because I'm like, there's only 3 shunts in this cube, and there's 2 warrior players. There's no way. And it's like, Kadachi you, and he's like, shunt.
Yeah,
I'm like,
still play shot.
got shunted again. Okay, great.
So the cube that I have is a, I guess like general cube is the way to. It's not a. It's a powered cube, I guess is one way that I want to say it a little bit. It's not a set cube. It's not a
No.
talent cube. Some people will build Welcome to Wraith cubes. Some people build like a cube based around their set. This encompasses every card or all cards from the sets. It's based around 4 heroes. It's based around Dori, Katsu, as you just heard, Bravo, Showstopper, and Viscerai. Thank you. Every card from those classes that are not talented are in the cube, and that is kind of the basis for it. Like there's not really like including generics, like every legendary generic is in there as well. Like so there's not a restriction on rarity, so like a helm of the ninja. What's the ninja's helm?
Mask of Momentum.
Helm of the ninja.
We gave one away that actually arrived safely.
I saw that
in Poland.
That email of his DM came through. That's such good news. So that's kind of the general like what's in the cube is if it's one of those 4 heroes, it's in the cube. There are a couple of things that we removed because they weren't very fun or didn't really have like a purpose.
Literally couldn't be played.
Yeah. So one of the cards was the amulet of is the talisman of there's a repetitive item in Everfest.
Yes.
That you can only play it or you can only activate its ability if you've played a card with the same name 3 times in the same turn. And that's just kind of like
kind of hard to do because there's no duplicates in the cube. So like there's 3 there's 3 copies of Razor Reflex, red, yellow, blue. There's not 2 of each or 3 of each.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That so that you would literally have to have the market cornered on those 3 cards and have them all in your hand and have the occasion to play all of them. So it's not a good cube. What was it Trimmers that we cut because there's
Tremblers of
nothing.
Iarithal was in the
Yeah.
cube, even though the only time that any hero would banish a card is if Katsu's ability banished one, because there's no Chane, there's just Viscerai, which doesn't banish cards, or Levia, which doesn't. There's no Levia that doesn't. There's nothing that banishes cards.
You know what I thought was the other circumstance that we didn't think about? It was the mentors. The mentors banish themselves, but again, still,
I didn't see a mentor, so I didn't know you had.
Yeah,
mentors
there
in
is the Dori one is in there, and then or the warrior one is in there, and then the Viscerai one, or the Runeblade one, I guess.
That seems like a bad choice, because then you have 2 full classes that don't have mentors.
Yeah, so that was the thing that we talked about. I don't know if they're that necessarily that good to justify cutting them.
I mean, you do
It
have to
could be.
draft the specialization
Yeah,
to make them
like
really hum.
right.
So, but I would cut Lord Sutcliffe and Minerva Themsis, though. Like, that would be. I didn't know they were there, so I didn't really. I will fully admit to not really reading your cube in detail, because it's a lot of fucking cards.
It's like 460 cards. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I do have enough tunic sleeves right now to sleeve your cube, though. I have 5 boxes of these fucking things. But yes, I think that with the specifically the mentors and how their payoff is getting the specialization and having one of specializations, it's really not what you want to be doing, and so it's kind of going to be a last pick card almost every instance.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that super. It is a card that's on the chopping block for like when we do want to trim down.
Choppy.
What are the same things we would change? Honestly, like we've only done 2 total drafts with it, and just one of those being an 8-man. But by and large, it felt pretty good from like what I was hearing people do. A lot of people got to do a powerful thing. They got to have a powerful card. One of the pieces of feedback that I got from both drafts was null rune equipment or access to equipment in general is sketchy. Because at least in a draft, the packs were seeded, like a real draft, packs were seeded. In Cube, traditionally, they're not. So how do you make sure that maybe everybody has access to a piece of null rune so they're not dead to Viscerai? Or how do you make sure that everybody has a piece?
I believe it was Tommy that was saying that for his cube, you draft your 3 packs, and then you have 1 pack of equipment that's 8 cards.
Okay.
And then you draft 8 pieces. You draft 8 pieces of equipment out of these equipment drafts.
Interesting.
And I thought that would maybe be a little bit better balance.
Interesting. Yeah, I've debated a face up draft of equipment in between each pack. So similar deal. I like that. I like the closed pack thing as well, because at least there's some like, secrecy still to what you'd be playing.
Yeah.
In Magic drafts, we've done like a special land draft before in between each pack. Where you can draft like the artifact lands, or you can draft like a Tron set or whatever. In between each pack, and I kind of like that, and that's face up. And so I kind of like that, but that is one thing that kicking around. I'm a purist when it comes to Cube, so I'm hesitant to change like just drafting 3 packs or whatever. But I think Flesh and Blood draft in particular is a little bit unique. So
and I think they're doing some of that with Uprising too, where you have
access to cards from outside of the draft.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see what that new cracked bauble that can attack is, and whether it will replace my cracked baubles. I doubt it.
Only if they're in cold foil.
Yeah, I'm not putting not in cold foil.
Yeah, that's bullshit. We don't not.
What am I poor?
Fucking like, whoa.
That's not the first time you or I have said that on this show.
As I stare at my Transformers. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I say this knowing that like I've been gifted like 8 of the cold foil cracked baubles in my cube.
And
like,
I have more of them for you.
Yeah. I think you've got a few for me, right?
Yeah, I forgot the rest for you.
Yeah, so yes. Yeah. So when I say that, it's completely tongue in cheek. All right. So please talk to me about Cube though in the Discord. I should have reached out and talked more about that there, because I love talking about my Cube and I love talking about other people's Cube. So
Cube is kind of the best format in virtually every game that allows for a cube.
For sure.
So,
it's casual but competitive. You know, like I want to like chill and play games with my friends, but I also want to beat them, and like Cube allows for that, interaction.
That's probably the time that I play the most Magic is when there's vintage Cube going. because
same here.
that's
Yeah, our
just
Cube
like,
Knights are our
let's
best.
fucking go.
Yeah, it's so vintage cube on MTGO too is also just best time of the year.
Ever turn one Oko'd somebody, they typically just concede.
One last cube note. I do plan on adding every Fable eventually. There is currently one in the cube. It's the Scry 2
I have
Ibophidia. The plan is eventually to add all of them, but some of them are very low on the pick order. Like I don't know if library is playable.
No, it's not. It's not. You don't have any light cards.
Yeah. That's even That's even definitely true. But like the Visceri one and the Guardian one, even though they're like playable, aren't that like exciting.
Hard to find is probably fine.
Hard to find is fine.
Arknight Shard is whatever.
It's just like like it's in there.
And
literally
you're not going to play
piece.
Korsham unless you actually like add elemental heroes. So
right, yeah. So like Korsham was the one that I was like that would purely just be like a bling piece, right? But it'd be like it should be the last pick of every pack, right?
Right. Yeah. There's no reason
because what reveal? I'm trying to think of what reveals. I don't think much.
The mentors. That's it.
So another card we're probably going to cut. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do a cube episode. We'll bring some cube people on, maybe.
Yeah, we can do that.
Talk cube. All right, Lone Road Ninja via Discord. Degenerate Fight Night. Everything is unbanned and de-errated. Chane gets Seeds of Agony back. Briar gets to make multiple embodiments with Ball Lightning and Plunder Run while swinging the Duskblade. Starvo brushes off Living Legend status and breaks out Awakening. Which hero takes the most broken crown? Well, we're going to get to live the stream soon.
I want to be fair here. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
I'm in with all of this. Outside of the Briar, I think the Briar Errata needs to stay. But
yeah,
who wins this? Oof. It's
gotta be Briar with Duskblade, right?
Oh god, but
we don't know how good Duskblade.
No. Chane also gets Duskblade. You can no longer fatigue Chane. They just kill you with Duskblade and Seeds.
Well, so they would also just have Drone Brutality, right?
Everything's unbanned. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
it's Chane. I think it's Chane still because Seeds of Agony and Duskblade is just so much.
It's
value.
so easy to make an Ursur when you have Seeds. People don't get how gross easy it is to make an Ursur when you have Seeds.
It's also super easy to go, okay, Seeds, Shackle, fucking anything, Duskblade, every single turn until you die from it. That Duskblade's going to be a 9.
Whenever I flip over cards to my Chane things now, and it's like a non-blood deck card, I always just go, that could have been a Seeds. That could have been a Seeds. That could have been a Seeds. You know, and then I think, oh, you know what? It's probably good they banned that card because, like, when I flip over 9 and 4 of them aren't blood deck cards, those would have been,
those could have been Seeds of Agony.
They should,
especially if they're captain's calls. You'd just be like, probably would have been Seeds of Agony.
Yeah, those would have been Seeds of Agony for sure. Oh god, could you imagine like Rosetta Thorn? Like,
Duskblade's just fucking better.
That's true. So you would imagine in a non-Duskblade world, like,
right? Then you get Thorn. Like whatever. Like your Thorn's turned on every turn. Who gives a shit?
Gross.
Like, it is the answer is Chane, and I don't know that it's particularly close, especially in Classic Constructed. Like it's just having access to Duskblade and Seeds of Agony all of a sudden just makes that deck no longer cry in Prism, because one swing of Duskblade is now taking out 7 Spectral Shields. Who gives a shit? It's hyper consistent. You can just Ursur somebody on turn 2. It's fucking busted. Shouts to Briar though, because Briar's going to race it. I just don't think Briar can beat it. And it's odd to say this after having played this dumb fucking deck for the last few months, but I think that Bravo's the worst of them.
Which feels crazy to say.
It feels nuts because I Crippling Crush dominated somebody for 15 yesterday.
Bravo with Autumn's Touches?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't block well enough still.
No, not good enough.
It doesn't, yeah.
Nope. What are you going to do about a 10 power Duskblade? Cry?
Crown of Seeds for 1. No blocks 9. Take 9.
9?
All right.
Sound good? And this is after like bounding you or rift bind you or something. Just
and the arcane from Chane and the arcane from Seeds of Agony.
Yeah,
like, oh yeah,
just taking it.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. No blocks.
Yeah, have fun.
All right, Nilov, aka Keith from Keith's K's,
The
aka
K's.
aka the Realm's owner. It seems that LSS feels that a 3-hero draft is optimal. Do you feel draft sets with 4 were better for a pod? I am not qualified to answer because I have only played in a 3-draft world really when it was current. I'm going to trust James White when he says to trust me for this one. But I don't know if you have a different answer.
In a vacuum, with 8 players at a table, 4 is optimal because you get 2 of each hero represented.
Right.
In a perfect world, right?
Yeah.
We don't ever live in
example, for example.
right. We don't ever live in a perfect world. I mean, just read the news once, touch some grass, you'll find out.
It's literally
not perfect.
on fire.
It's on fire all the time. I do think that you run into balance issues in 3-player easier than you run into it in 4-player or in 4-hero. I also feel like the balance issues you run into can, probably were able to be fixed. And I think that that's where Uprising becomes a narrowed focus, because like I said before, the Briar Errata made Tails an actual good draft experience. If they knew that kind of going into designing these heroes in Uprising, maybe we are balanced. He did say that the sealed format is swingy, if I remember correctly.
I remember the sealed format was meh, kind of what on he was.
Yeah, but he said the draft is very balanced and
very
fun
good
and nuanced, which I'm in for. Do I think? But Optimal's so weird because I think it's the weird part to me is I feel like a 3-hero sealed would be better because you have a better chance of having a strong deck in 1 hero than if you're dividing among 4. But in this case, he said the sealed is meh and the draft is good. So I'm very curious. But if they happen to nail the 3-hero draft out of the box this time, I'm just going to say, good on you. You did it.
Yeah.
No criticism. We're done.
I wonder
I'm going to believe in you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to trust. I'm a big trust. I wonder if the 3-hero thing versus 4 ultimately comes down to 2. Like, it's hard to just introduce an extra hero every set. Like, Classic Constructed is always at the back of the mind. It's tough because to develop a good draft format, you have to make some concessions on your constructed formats and vice versa. So I wonder if, too, it's just like, hey, can the game support an extra hero every set? Probably not.
Probably not.
You know? Yeah. So that's a tough angle. But I'm excited to draft a set that matters. I'm going to get a draft in at Keith's, actually, at the Realms Brawl weekend, which we are giving away a seat to.
Segway!
Say, look at that. Bang, bang, bang. Get
bang, bang,
Abby.
bang. Whoa. No. So 2 things. 1, Abby is vital to the show. And 2, Abby listens to the show and we don't.
Oh, yeah, I'll know when she listens to it because she's working from home this week, right? Because she has COVID.
So you are burying yourself.
Some woman is going to come barging into my office tomorrow during the day.
You're going to get fucking brained with a goddamn cast iron skillet, and we're going to have to explain to people why you speak backwards all of a sudden.
Well, there you go. Look at that segue, though. I'll take it while I can get it.
Segue.
That was a good segue.
Really,
at the Realms Brawl weekend coming up here, Keith from Keith's K's, June 25th and 26th, the Realm is hosting a 10K Classic Constructed tournament, and then on the 26th, they're hosting a 5K Team Blitz tournament that is Uprising release weekend. So your Uprising cards will be legal. Keith is going to have singles on stock and have sealed product on stock, and it's going to be a crazy weekend. There's already kind of a good suite of people coming. We are giving away a seat to the 10KCC tournament. Over on Twitter, we have a pinned tweet. Go ahead and quote reply that tweet and tell us your favorite Flesh and Blood memory. We're going to pick our favorite, and the winner's going to get that free seat. If you don't win the free seat, and if you just want to get registered ahead of time, go over to realmgamingnetwork.com today. That's realmgamingnetwork.com, and make sure you get registered for this tournament. I think it's going to be the first CC event of Uprising.
Yep, 100% is.
So that's awesome.
It's fantastic. It's going to be the lead in to the Road to Nationals weekend starting up. I believe, and I'm ready to be put in the correction corner, that the Armory event on Friday is going to involve Uprising at the Realm. And I will be there. For
We
Armory
will likely also be there Friday as well.
For Friday night Armory at the Realm with the Flesh and Pod crew.
Yeah.
And there are breweries, I'm sure, close.
Mansfield has one, I think.
I'm not going to talk shit about Abbystown.
That's all right, I'll do it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Both events are capped, so if you are wanting to go, make sure you get in and register.
Ooh, good point. Yeah.
There's a lot of cool shit that Keith has going for this event. He really, really wants to show how much he is invested. He and the Realm are invested in this game, invested in the growth of the game. And if I believe that from everything that I've seen, and we've been privy to some stuff that isn't public yet, you're going to be blown away. This is a world-class type event with a world-class human being running it.
For sure.
So please come. I want to see everybody. If you listen to us, which way more people do than I ever thought ever fucking would. Understand that like this is the type of thing that when we talk about being excited, this is the type of thing that we're really talking about, is the grassroots type of gaming that happens.
15 Ks.
15 of Keith's Ks are gonna be given away. Plus other stuff.
Him and Jacob don't want them. Just take.
They don't want the Ks. Just take the Ks.
Just take their Ks. Take all 15 of them.
Get all 15 of those.
All 15. You get
you can get a lot of the 15. You can get a good amount of the 15.
Yeah. What's the most? What's up top? I haven't even looked.
The biggest Ks?
What's the most? I'm pulling it up right now. Is it
25, 2.5, or 3 of those Ks could be yours?
Oh my gosh. 45.
4.5 Ks of Keys. You can have.
You get a
small car.
Small car. I was trying to figure out the sound for half a K.
Cars with Ks.
Yeah, 877 cash now.
1877 cars for kids. A KARS cars for kids.
Exactly,
that's the one.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Donate your car today. Okay.
There it is.
Once a song gets in your head, you have to finish it.
I completely
always have to finish. Always finish. We did it again.
Anyway, go to the realmgamingnetwork.com to pre-register and make sure that
please come back, Abby.
Before the next show, we are going to give that away. So if you're hearing this now, make sure you head on over there and enter it.
We've had some sweet stories.
So we have had some good ones. Please quote tweet it. Tell us your favorite Flesh and Blood memory. There's been some really wholesome shit in there.
Wholesome shit.
As always, you can find us on Twitter at FleshPod, and you can check out our Discord. Please come join our Discord and hang out with us. We have quite a few members in there, and it is really fun to chat with the Bird Squad and get all sad in Kierkegaard's Corner together. Give us a 5-star review on Apple, please. That's the best way to help the show, honestly. It boosts us up in those algorithms. If you want to reach us another way, you can shoot us an email at fleshandpod@gmail.com.
But Jordan will not check it before an event, so if you're at the event, don't expect us to go approach you.
God, I felt so bad, dude, because
he found me. It's fine.
Yeah, like it's fine, right? Logan, tell everyone how to get a hold of you.
At Logan Peterson on Twitter. I tweet about many things. No, I don't. I tweet about Flesh and Blood. Sometimes politics, sometimes sports, mostly Flesh and Blood. And also just like sometimes it's like tweeting about, hey, I saw some MTG drama today. I'm really glad the Fab community exists because I don't have to deal with it there.
Yeah, big same.
I'm very thankful for this community. I mean, like, if you guys haven't figured that part out yet, geez, y'all are great. We will have a special episode entering our feed sometime this week, so please, eyes open. We'll let it be a surprise for you all. Well, we can. I mean, do you think we should tell them?
It's your baby, so
it is kind of my baby.
It is your baby. So if you wanted it to be a surprise, I'm cool with surprise. If you want to, I've had a hard time not telling people about it, but I can wait 2 more days. So
okay,
up to you.
We're going to be doing a special episode with some of the various content creators. I'm going to leave the names out, but we have all of them are bangers, and every single one's a banger. and we're going to talk about the state of the game, and that episode will be out later this week.
It is going to be a good episode.
Yeah, I'm overshadowed by literally everybody that we have on, so it's fine.
For what it's worth, we're recording Wednesday. My goal is to get it up Wednesday night, because we are recording early Wednesday. So my goal is to get it up Wednesday night. But pay attention to your podcast feed. That will be where the sauce is.
Oh, it'll be the sauce.
Yeah.
There's a man who plays Jackbox and accuses people of being Muppets that will be involved too.
Interesting.
That's a great story. You weren't around for that one, Jordan, but we'll talk off air.
I need to hear about that. Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at I'm Jermaine, IMJRMAN, tweeting Flush and Pod, but mostly cricket and baseball. That's mostly kind of what my life is right now. So I come over there if you want to argue with me. That's great. I actually had a little Fab tweet go kind of Fab viral today.
A little bit.
Yeah, it's got 35, 36, 38 likes now and some retweets, but people are upset in the comments.
Did you get ratioed?
Oh no, I'm ratioing these nerds that are telling me.
All right.
But actually, it's just like there's some good. It's our discussion on the Rhinar Dori.
It's a good back and forth.
Yeah,
I was reading it,
but no, I don't get ratioed. I am the ratio. Anyway, that's it for this week. Please make sure you give us that 5-star at Apple and check us out later this week with our special episode. Bye.
Bye.